Hi guys. So I have decided this morning that I'm going to make a mushroom bourguignon. Um, Obviously I'm not going to use the recipe exactly as it calls for because it calls for stuff that I don't use, like oil, that type of thing. But so what I'm going to do, what I've already done, is chopped up some mushrooms and some carrots, and I'm going to cheat and use pearled onions. I'm the only one in my family that really likes these, so I'm going to use like half a bag in there. I'm really excited about it actually. And it calls for some tomato puree, a very small amount of it. So I'm just going to use some fire roasted diced tomatoes, no salt added. I don't know if I'll use this whole can because it only calls for a tablespoon, but maybe I'll use like half the can. Sounds good. It does call for red wine. We don't actually drink it all, like at all, but I did have some miniature bottles of wine in the closet for when I was cooking. So I've got a bottle of Chardonnay, like this is a 187 ml bottle. I suppose I'll just use that. Obviously you need garlic, you have to have some bouillon, so there's that. You're supposed to put fresh parsley in it, and I do have fresh parsley because it's one of the spicy food type things that the boys can have, but I don't like it, so I'm not going to add it. That's about it. It calls for thickening it with flour, so I'm going to thicken it with some brown rice flour. We buy organic brown rice flour. I don't use it very often because brown rice has higher levels of arsenic than white rice, but I need something to thicken it, so that's what I'm going to use. This as close to rice as I can get. So let's take a look at what it is that we've got down here, guys. So I've got my cute little container of garlic. We're going to use some of that. I'm going to use the Better Than Bouillon no beef base because that's like the best for this option. Obviously the onions, we've got our Chardonnay and this. And on the carrots, I just went ahead and cut them in half and then cut them lengthwise in half and then cut them in half again. And there's the big huge pile of onion, or mushrooms, excuse me. Not a big huge pile of onions. Let's see if we can get that to stay. So I'm gonna put this together in a pot and I'll let you see what it looks like when it's done. I've got 2 big huge pots of water going on the stove right now, and that is for making some rice. One of the containers of rice is gonna be for me, for the amount of rice I could have in 2 days. And I'm going to mix the rest of this cauliflower rice in it. If I have time, which it's only 2:45, so I probably do, I would like to make up some sushi rolls to go tonight. We're going on a very quick 24-hour trip to see a college with my second daughter, my younger daughter, and we're going to take Preston with us. So we're going to leave when I get off work, although my boss is like super awesome and rearranged his schedule so that I could get off work 2 hours early. Thank you. Not that he'll ever watch this, but he's awesome. So I'm gonna get off 2 hours early. I'll leave at 3, which then hopefully, seeing as traffic shouldn't be too bad, it'll only take me maybe an hour to get home, an hour and 10 minutes maybe just an hour. That'd be great. So when I get home, I need to finish getting packed up and getting ready to go. I mean, it's overnight, you know, a pair of pajamas, another t-shirt. I'll change into some jeans and then bring a different t-shirt to wear the next day. I don't have to get all fancy or anything, but you know, when you travel, maybe it's not the same for boys obviously, but I need to have my hair straightener, which obviously my hair is crazy psycho all over the place anyway. I just use it to straighten my bangs because my bangs are just like the rest of my hair. They just go everywhere. A hairspray, you know, mascara, face cleaner, toothpaste, toothbrush. Well, that's anybody needs to bring those things. But so I need to get all that stuff packed up. And I was thinking this morning about making sushi rolls to take tonight. There would be my husband and Samantha and I would all really like that. And they're easy to eat, actually. After you've put them in the refrigerator, they get quite solid. So you just pop one in your mouth and it's really easy. So I thought maybe that would be a good car food because we're going to probably leave by 4:30, maybe 4:45. Maybe 4:45. And so we'll eat in the van. And my husband is going to be driving, so it'd be kind of hard for him to eat and drive. So I can actually put a little bit of spicy stuff on each of his little pieces and he can just pop them in his mouth and it would be easy. So I think that I might go ahead and do that. So I'll be busy for the next couple of hours, hopefully get everything ready in time to go. I'm really excited about this bourguignon. We'll see what it ends up tasting like, but I mean, it's all fresh, good ingredients. When all is said and done, between all the ingredients, tons of mushrooms, all those carrots, the half a bag of onions, using that wine, which is I left that out, that would leave out 150 calories. It's kind of heavy. If I used the entire can of tomatoes, if I used everything here, it would be like 450 calories for all of it. So I don't feel too bad about eating the whole thing as a meal. And I might serve it over rice and eat like half of it, but I don't know. We'll see what it cooks down to. Mushrooms are very watery vegetables, so they'll cook down. They're not a vegetable, they're a fungus. Anyway, they're very watery, so they'll cook down quite a bit. So anyway, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to work on that. I will be happy to show you guys what it looks like when I'm done. And otherwise, I'm just gonna keep on chugging on. So I will talk to you guys in a little bit. Alrighty guys, I wasn't really sure if you would be interested in seeing this progression-wise, but I went ahead and put the carrots in here. This is just to me how this makes sense to my brain to cook. So I put the carrots in here, obviously the onions are in there, I put the garlic in there. Then I went ahead and put a big scoop of the Better Than Bouillon No beef broth and the wine. And so I'm going to let this come up to a simmer eventually. I'm going to let this simmer for like 5 minutes. And then when it's done simmering for 5 minutes, I'm going to then put the mushrooms in and let them continue to cook. When I put the mushrooms in, that will be when I put the flour in as well, to try and then any additional water that I need in order to cover the vegetables. And then I'll let it boil down for however long it looks like it needs to form a thick sauce. But I don't want the mushrooms to be gooey, and I definitely want the carrots to not be like insanely crunchy. I mean, I don't want them mushy, but I don't think they're supposed to be crunchy either. So this is the beginning process. This is how it starts, and I'll show you guys maybe again in a couple more steps. Alrighty guys, so that is what it looks like when you've added half a can of fire roasted tomatoes and the rest of the mushrooms. It's quite pretty. I'm going to add a little bit of water to it. Mushrooms are very watery on their own, but I'm going to add a little bit of water to fill that up just a little bit more, and then I'm going to add the rice flour. Actually, I'll just add the rice flour directly to the water and whisk it, and then put it in there, and we will see what happens. I'm excited. Alright guys, this is what it looks like when all is said and done. I mean, it's very thick. It's quite colorful. It's very pretty. I have no idea how it tastes, so we should do that. It smells really good. It looks really good. It looks kind of like beef stew, actually. That's very good. I would totally serve that. It's very beef stewish. It's excellent. Absolutely, I would make this again in a heartbeat. So, bunch of mushrooms, probably like 10 to 12 ounces, you know, the big 16-ounce containers. It was more than an 8-ounce container, but less than the 16, so probably about 10 or 12. Maybe 10 or 12 baby carrots cut lengthwise and then in half. Half a bag of the little pearl onions. Totally works in this. Absolutely. Half a can of fire roasted diced tomatoes with no salt added. A little bottle of Chardonnay. Water with rice flour mixed in, probably about 3 tablespoons of rice flour, and I don't know, maybe a cup of water, 3/4 of a cup of water, something like that, probably about a cup of water. And the garlic and the Better Than Bouillon. That Better Than Bouillon is really important, guys. It's very, very flavorful. It's really high in salt, and I get that, but I don't put salt in anything else. So you gotta have your flavor somewhere, and that's really flavorful. So I'm actually going to probably take this with me. I don't know if I'm gonna share. We'll see. Maybe I'll leave a little bit home so that my husband can try it. Maybe. I think the girls would really like this too, and it was very easy to make. So other than having to chop up all of the mushrooms, which I chopped them very large, you saw that. They were not finely chopped in any way, shape, or form, because you want them to have some substance when you go to eat it, you know? Especially seeing as the pearl onions are the size that they are. You want all the sizes to be similar in your food. So anyway, this is going to be perfect over rice. I'm going to take this with me for lunch. I might have a small scoop of it right now, because I can. But yeah, this is very exciting. This is really good. So I hope you guys are interested in making this recipe. I'm definitely interested in eating this recipe. So I will, I'm gonna work on making some more rice. I've got 1 pot of rice with the cauliflower already in it, already made. Can you see that? Do, 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 do. Oh gosh, that's a horrible angle, isn't it? I'm sorry. Anyway, it's kind of hard to tell, but you can see that there's little different colored chunks in there. That's the cauliflower. I'm going to use it to make sushi rolls, and then I'm going to eat that rice today because it expands the volume significantly and brings down the calorie content significantly, simply because there's so much fewer calories in cauliflower than there's in rice. So again, I don't count calories, but if I can lower the concentration of the calories in the food that I eat, then I can eat more, and I'm totally cool with that. So I will talk to you guys. Oh, I also made my salad while I was cooking. Ta-da! My little layered salad. Anyway, so I'll take salad with me, and I'll take some of the mushroom stuff with me. I'm gonna have a little bit to eat now because it's about breakfast time for me. That's fine. And I will catch you guys in a bit. Okay guys, so one thing I just discovered by having a small bowl for breakfast is that you don't want to let your rice overpower your vegetables in this dish. It is, there's plenty of flavor, so it's not that. It's the vegetables are the main dish in this case. You really want them to shine, and you really want them to come through. So I am going to have that amount of rice. Is that easy for you to see? So not a whole lot, like 2 very small spoonfuls of rice. I'm going to fill the rest of that up with the mushroom stuff. I don't think it needs more rice than that. A little bit of rice for filler is really good. You don't want to be hungry, so you need starch. But the vegetables really shine in this meal, and so you really want to let them shine through. So a very small amount of the cauliflower and rice mixture is all that you're going to need. You don't want to put too much in there, just to let you know, because usually, you know, if you have the rice is the main part of your meal, and then the vegetables are the accessory or the fun part that goes around the edges. In this case, you really want the vegetables to be the main part and the rice to be the accessory, just to let you know. So that's what it's going to look like when you have the vegetables be the main part of the meal. You have a little layer of rice down the bottom and mostly vegetables. Oh, I'm so excited for lunch now. Yay!